this pile of books, I might have, I'm in trouble, aren't I? I'm in trouble. Sorry. Hi everybody, it's Mickey here and welcome to a bookish video that should never have happened. I have a serious problem. And my problem is I like to buy books, and last year one of my wonderful subscribers came up with an amazing point system. I shout about it all the time. Thank you very much, Karen, for letting me use it. And last year I was doing so well. But 2022 has not quite gone to plan. I seem to have got it back into old habits, and it needs to stop, and I need to pull back, and I need to rein it in, because yeah, March. First of all, my book allowance for March was only about 4 books. However, then I played March's Bookgammon TBR game, and if you haven't seen that, go and watch it just for the pure joy of watching me in absolute pain and getting 24 books on my March TBR. But yeah, because March Bookgammon was mean to me a lot, I took a punishment and joined that game, and I was meant to be on a book buying ban in March. I didn't stick to it. This is why I say I have a problem. So yeah, but then during the game I won the treat your shelf prompt. So I did about 12 times. It was only supposed to be for 1 book. But so we'll get over the fact that I wasn't meant to buy books in March, but I quite obviously did. So let's just get into it. Let's see what books tempted me so much that I broke the book buying ban. So first off, the one thing that the book buying ban or the book allowance doesn't even include, so I was okay to get this book, is pre-orders. And I pre-ordered the second book in the Rainbow Grey series. Excuse the lighting. It's Eye of the Storm by Laura Ellen Anderson. It's the second book, and look at those sprayed edges, and they're cute. So yeah, I read the first book in last year's Believeathon, hosted by Gavin from How to Train Your Gavin, and I really enjoyed it, so I pre-ordered the second one when I saw that it was coming out. So I was allowed to buy this one. There is no guilt here, because this was a pre-order that I made last year, so I'm just waiting for it to come out, and it came out in March. So the next book I bought, Charlotte and I are currently buddy reading the Graceling series, and we are up to book 3 that we are reading in April. So when I saw that Winterkeep by Kristen Cushaw, which is book 4 in the Graceling series, was on sale on Amazon for £2, I knew I was going to snap it up, because it's £2, and they're normally what, £8.99 here in the UK for a book this size. So £2. I wasn't going to let it go, considering that we are currently, as I say, reading book 3 in April. So I knew that in May we would probably be wanting to move on to book 4, and I hadn't got it yet. So in fact, Charlotte hadn't even purchased it yet. So I gave Charlotte a quick shout and said, hey, Winterkeep is £2 on Amazon at the moment if you want to order it, and we'll read book 4 in May. So yeah, this one I also don't feel guilty. I don't feel guilty about any of them. Let's be honest. I love books. I'm going to read them. It's not like I'm not going to read them. So I feel no guilt here. It's just I shouldn't have. Not in March anyway. I could have bought them any other month. I didn't need them now. But Winter Keep I kind of do need sooner rather than later. So I picked it up. The next two books are also continuation of series that I read. I read the first book, Polar Bear Explorers Club, in when was it? February, for the Polathon hosted by Jade from Jade Ray Reads. So it's really all of these booktubers' faults for making me read the first book in a series. I'm blaming them. So I bought book 2 and book 3 of the Polar Bear Explorers Club. Book 2, I believe, is Explorers on Witch Mountain, which looks like that. And book 3 is Explorers on Black Ice Bridge. So yeah. I really wanted to get these two books because I do want to continue with this series, because the 4th book has a character called Ursula in it. And if you know me, I want to get to that book. So I needed book 2 and book 3 so I could continue on with the series sooner rather than later, so I can eventually get to book 4, which is the only reason why I started this trilogy, this series. I wasn't interested in this series until I found out book 4 had Ursula character in it, and then I got interested. It's amazing what why you get interested in books, isn't it? The next book was a sprayed edges by... You know, if a book comes in sprayed edges, I'm going to pick it up. It is The Last Firefox by Lee Newbury, illustrated by Laura Catalan. So it is like this. It's a very flapper paperback, which is also a good selling point for me. And it says, you need to be brave for yourself before you can be brave for other people. That's very, very true. Between bullies at school and changes at home, Charlie Chalinor finds life a bit scary. And when he's made guardian of a furry fox cub called Cadno, things get a whole lot scarier. Because Cadno isn't just any fox. He's a firefox, the only one of his kind. And a sinister hunter from another world is hot on his trail. Swept up into an unexpected adventure to protect his flammable friend, Charlie's going to need to find the bravery he never thought he had if he's going to save the last Firefox. And I believe in here as well, if you're interested in this, our main character, Mr. what's he called, Charlie, has 2 dads. Yeah. He has gay parents. So if that is of any interest to you, if that's a selling point for you, then yeah, pick this up. It has 2 gay dads in the storyline, if that's interesting for you. For me, it was just like an added extra bonus. It's not something that sells a book for me. But I am interested in this last Firefox, because who doesn't love foxes? It's so cute. He's so cute. He's so pretty. And those edges. Cannot deny them. Okay, the next 2 books are... I'm not going to say too much about the second book, because you will see that in my March wrap-up, because these 2 books are the physical copies of a couple of ebooks that I read in February and March. I read the first book, Song of the Forever Rains by E.J. Mello, in February for Polathon. And I read Dance of a Burning Sea, also by E.J. Mello, because they're the first and second book. I read this in March for the Aurelium Gear Up thing that I did. So yeah, these are the physical copies of the ebooks that I read on Kindle Unlimited. When I read the first book back in February, I was like, I really enjoyed this. I really do like this. I gave it 4 stars. I thoroughly enjoyed the darkness of this. I was expecting a fluffy, light fantasy romance, but it was so much darker than that, so much better than that. And when I mean by dark, let me read you the first line of the first book. It's not a spoiler, but let me read you it. Okay. The little girls played in a puddle of blood. the little girls played in a puddle of blood. As soon as I read that in the ebook, I was like, oh, we are in for a ride. So yeah, I absolutely love book one. I gave it 4 stars, really enjoyed the story. I'm not going to say too much about this, but I was halfway through this book and I went onto Amazon and ordered the physical copies. If that doesn't give you any notification of how much I'm enjoying these stories, there is a 3rd book coming out in February 2023, and that follows the 3rd sister who has the power of music, and I cannot wait for that story. I am dying to get my hands on it. But yeah, these are indie published or self-published, I believe, because it says inside that they're published by Montlake, which is trademarks of Amazon.com. So I believe they are self-published. So if you want to help out a self-published author and read a damn good set of books about 3 sisters who are sassy, clever, intelligent, clever and intelligent are the same kind of thing, but they're sassy, they're strong, they're powerful, and the male love interest in the stories, they're both like really good characters as well, broody, kind of trying not to fall in love with the sisters, but obviously it's a romance, so we know it's going to happen. This one has the pirate trope in it, so again, you can kind of guess where I'm going with this one. I love them. I knew I was on a book buying ban, and I knew I shouldn't be buying books, but I just couldn't resist. I needed these, and they were only $5.99 on Amazon each. $5.99 for these books. I absolutely love them. They're so amazing. These are going on my favourite shelf in my bedroom. If you watch my Polathon vlog, you'll know that I got a brand new shelf, bookshelf in my bedroom for all my favourite books. These are going on there. And if that doesn't tell you how much I love them, I don't know what will. I will be singing about these books for a long time to come. So yeah, and if you watch my March wrap-up, you'll hear more about my thoughts of Dance on a Burning Sea. I mean, look at that cover. Isn't it amazing? Just read them. Oh, I love you. I love you so much. The next one I bought because it was going cheap on Amazon, and that was Cold Spell by Jackson Pearce. I've been wanting to pick this up for a long time because I've read her other books, which are like fairy tale retellings. I've read Sisters Red, I've read Sweetly, and I've read Fathomless. Sisters Red is based on Red Riding Hood. Sweetly is based on Hansel and Gretel, and Fathomless is of course based on The Little Mermaid, and Cold Spell is based on The Snow Queen. I know that Charlotte read this recently, and I have been dying to get my hands on a copy, but I needed to get it in the hardback because that's how I have the other copies. So yeah, I wanted to get it in hardback. And trying to get hold of this is it's like gold dust, really. So when I found it on Amazon, I snapped it up. It was going cheap, so I think it came from a second-hand bookstore that sells through Amazon, so I was able to purchase it. But yeah, it's a retelling of The Snow Queen, so cannot wait to get to this because I love the little twist that Jackson Pearce puts in her stories. So yeah, I bought myself this, and Charlotte, having read it recently and saying it was really good, made me want to pick it up, so I did. The next book was kind of an accidental purchase because I was talking to a member of staff at Waterstones, any excuse, and she happened to mention a book that I'd read last year, I think it was. And I said to her, oh, I believe that the sequel has come out now. And she was like, really? So she had a look on the system and she said, oh yeah, it has come out in the sequel. And I said, yeah, but I think I missed my my thing to get it because I got the first book in hardback and it's probably only in paperback now because, as you know, in the UK, the hardbacks are only out for a certain length of time and then they stop printing those and they only print them in paperback after a while. And she said, no, I can get it in hardback. So I went, oh, really? Order that? So it was kind of accidental. I had no intention of buying it. We were just having a conversation and once I discovered that it was still available in hardback, I ordered it. It is The Shadows of Rookhaven by Padraig Kenny, I believe, illustrated by Edward Bettison. So it is this, and this is the sequel to The Monsters of Rookhaven. This is a middle grade that tells a story about monsters, but the monsters are the main characters and the humans are the villains. And it was really interesting, really different, really unique when I read the first book, and I really enjoyed it. And so I am so excited to have this book. I am, last but not least, the last book that I bought in April. Well, actually, I think this was one of the first books I bought. Again, I wasn't that interested in purchasing. I'd seen people talking about it, raving about it, how it was originally indie published, but then so many people were loving it that a more publishing company got hold of the author and said, we want to publish your book mainstream. And so it got picked up by a mainstream publisher. And I wasn't that particularly interested in picking it up until I saw these edges. I told you, I'm like a magpie. If it's got pretty edges, I'm buying it. It is The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake. 6 are chosen, only 5 will walk away. Knowledge is carnage, apparently. So this is a Waterstones exclusive edition. And it says, 6 extraordinary magicians, 5 chances to win, 1 secret society. It's been getting a lot of hype on BookTube, and I gave in because it had beautiful sprayed edges. So that was the book haul that should never have happened. However, okay, one of those was a pre-order. One of those was a pre-order. 2 have already been read. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 are like sequels to series I've already started, and 1, 2 were books that just I decided to pick up. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 books. 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10. Is that right? Lie. Wait there. One moment. Got 2 more. They were in my April TBR. Instead of in my book cart, the top basket on my book cart is for books that I've read. The middle shelf on my book cart is for next month's TBR, and then the bottom shelf is for new purchases. And these were in the middle shelf waiting for April TBR because March's TBR read books are still in the top until I do my my wrap up with them. So I completely forgot about these. So I bought Every Heart a Doorway by Shona Maguire because I bought it for my April TBR. Simple as that. I bought it because it fit a prompt because I had to read a book recommended by Books and Lala, and she read she read one of the Wayward Children series books in January and absolutely loved it. She really enjoys this series, so I'm reading that in April. And then Only a Monster by Vanessa Len. This was a book that I was very, very interested in once I discovered that it could potentially have mermaids in. So I purchased it because this should have been in, well, it was in Fairy Loot's January box this year, but because I cancelled my Fairy Loot subscription in December, I didn't get it. And then, as I say, discovered that it had the potential to have mermaids in it, and I was like, should have bought that. So yeah, so I went out and purchased it. So 12 books. I've got 12 books on my TBR. I've got 12 books that I bought in March. So let's count again. One was a pre-order. 2 books I've already read. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 books were for series that I've already started, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 were books that I bought just because I wanted to. Well, 3, because I bought 1 for the TBR. So when you break it down as to the reasons why I purchased them, doesn't actually sound that bad. I'm trying to make excuses. I really am. There's no excuse. But yeah, I'm not mad at myself. I have some gorgeous books, some books I'm really excited about getting to and reading, and I have physical copies of one of the best series I've read in a long time by E.J. Mello. So yeah, out of all of those stacks of books, I would say read the E.J. Mello books, with Song of the Forever Rains and Dance of a Burning Sea. Those are the 2 that I would highly recommend the most. I haven't read some of the others, but yeah, I would definitely say put them on your TBR. And I know some people watch my my wrap-up videos and my TBR videos and my haul videos with their wish lists open. So yeah, if you like fantasy romance, but also like, it's not just fantasy romance, there is a plot happening. The romance is just kind of like that little cherry on the top of the cake. Well, not cherry, because I don't like cherries. That little surprise of chocolate in the centre. Yeah, that's what I'm going to go with. It's like a beautiful cake with a beautiful plot, beautiful world building, beautiful characters, and then the romance is kind of like that little chocolate centre that just makes it so sweet. So yeah, highly recommend. So that is it. That is my book haul for March. That should never have happened, but it did. So no guilt here. I love books. I will read these books. Not mad about it. But anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. Nearly forgot what I said then. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.